Coming to UK cinemas on February 24th is a movie called What's Love Got to Do with It? And this is directed by Shekhar Kapur, if I've got that correctly. And I got a chance to see it at Cineworld tonight as part of an early screener. But is this movie actually worth your time? Well, stick around and let's find out. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you for taking your own time out to check out this movie review, which will be completely spoiler free. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this movie if you're going to check it out, or if you do end up checking it out, what did you think of it? Comment section is just down below. Let's talk about it right there. But yeah, going into this movie, I saw the trailer quite a few times. I thought, okay, this looks quite interesting. It looks like a just romantic comedy starring Lily James. Now, I am a fan of Lily James. I like her in movies that I've seen before. So I knew kind of what to expect because she plays this role really well in other movies. And in this one, she plays a character called Zoe. Focuses on her character as she's a filmmaker documenting her childhood friend Kaz, played by Shazad Latif, who's going to have an arranged marriage to a bride from Pakistan. Also in this movie, we've got Shabana Azmi, Emma Thompson, Mirza. Well, after checking this movie out, what I can honestly say to you is it had elements that I certainly enjoyed here. Unfortunately, I feel like the script is a little bit messy and there's too much going on here to be completely memorable. So going into just a couple of positives straight away here, I can praise the culture that's represented with Pakistan and being a Muslim. I really appreciated that look into that kind of religions and kind of about Pakistan in general, because I don't know a lot around it. So I felt like I learned from this movie and the perspective that they had and cultures, and with arranged marriages, because I don't know a lot around that, and getting just engaged myself a couple of weeks ago to my partner Emma. It was kind of interesting to see that subject of marriage being broached here, and I can say that I enjoyed that aspect of the movie and what that represented, not just for being someone who's English, but also in other religions also. The cinematography here is stunning to look at. It's well done, especially the representation of Lahore, again in Pakistan. I felt that was definitely one of the best elements of the cinematography, along with just some nice wide shots, some nice vibrant set pieces as well, and kind of cultures being represented here. And again, I think just in terms of representation, it's done really well in this movie, and you can definitely tell the background of the director and the actors on board as well is well represented, and I can only praise the movie for those elements that are presented. What I will also say is another big positive here to take away from this movie is the standout cast, that is Emma Thompson, Mirza and Shabana Azmi, who are the parents of Lily James' character of Zoe and the parents of Kaz's character of Shazad Latif. I think they were the standouts in this movie. They had the best kind of dialogue in terms of whether they were given an emotional piece of script to read out or whether they were kind of cracking a one-liner joke. There's definitely elements here where the comedy does land. There's some good one-line jokes and got a couple of chuckles out of me. There is some that doesn't land as such. The performances by the parents in this movie stood out more than our main two leads. Although they weren't bad at all, don't get me wrong, they give a good performance, but the parents stood out more to them. Which leads into a great point going into my negatives, which you got a star power here of Lily James, who is headlining this movie. She's a great actress. She's proved that in multiple projects that she's done in the past. In this movie, however, I feel like she does a good job for the script that she's given, but she's not given anything here where she is standing out above everyone else. You could tell that she's given her best in this movie, but with the material that she's maybe got to work with, because how the movie plays out in its first, second and third act, it's a little bit where they want you to buy into a chemistry that doesn't get explored enough, also doesn't get you in the emotional feels and gravitating towards the story and wanting to see a really happy ending, which is unfortunate because I wanted to root for these characters. I wanted to root for a nice, happy, predictable kind of ending. You don't really get that because the chemistry is not really explored whatsoever. If you've seen the trailer for this movie, you know that Lily Jane's character of Zoe falls for her childhood friend's character of Kaz. But she's given it her all, but he really doesn't seem to be bothered by it whatsoever. Maybe through a couple of lines of dialogue here and there in the movie, you get like a slight inkling, but that was it. And I was like, that's not enough to get me to buy in to this love romance that we're going to hopefully see play out in the movie. And I feel as if this movie, it relates some good messages here, but it gets caught up in its own downfall, which is ultimately the downfall of this movie, because you've got messages here about the culture of, say, Pakistan and Muslims, for example, but then you've got about just the relationship with parents and family, and you've also got the messages of, okay, well, these two cultures of being like British and being from Pakistan is completely different. So there's a lot of messages being kind of thrown at the audience, and I don't feel like all of them lands, or at least they don't land how the director, I'm assuming, probably intended them to land. And overall, that is my biggest issue with this movie. So if I'm going to score this movie, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Hopefully you've enjoyed hearing my thoughts on what's love got to do with it. I would really appreciate if you could hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button by pressing the red button down below. And if you did subscribe, I would love to see you again on a future video. Also, if you're unaware, I do have a Patreon. I have a couple of tiers you can select from, which starts from £2 per month. And these tiers do include like early videos, my release schedules, say what goes onto the channel. You can actually pick out movies for me to review. There's so much stuff to find out about my Patreon. The link is down below in the description box if you want to check out more. And I want to give a big special thank you to all my awesome Patreons who help support the channel. And thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out my review. And until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.